Addiction treatment center counselors are seeing more and more people turn toward alcohol to relieve their pain that's brought on by the pandemic.
It's a problem. As part of our Rebound Maryland series, WMAR 2 News' Mark Roper spoke with a woman who was sober for 2 years before the stress of coronavirus hit, and that made her relapse. And now she's back at help.
Many people have had a difficult time making their way through the pandemic, including a woman who calls herself Nicole. We're not showing her face or using her real name to protect her identity as she shares her story.
I have an 8-month-old daughter. I had just gotten back to work from my leave when I got the phone call that I was no longer needed.
And while some businesses were ordered closed or struggling during the outbreak, others were allowed to stay open and booming.
I think it's incredible that liquor stores are essential. Being isolated at home really affected my sobriety.
The availability of alcohol combined with the self-isolation of quarantine was not a recipe for success, considering she lost her job and her ability to cope.
I turned to alcohol as my only coping skill to deal with stress, to deal with isolation, loneliness.
But she's not alone in her feelings. For people with an addiction like Nicole, alcohol was the cure for all of those problems and her pain.
It would numb them. Ideally that was the point. To just suppress or get rid of those feelings temporarily. But when you wake up in the morning, they're all still there.
And after 2 weeks of drinking, Nicole knew she needed to reach out for help, but she quickly realized something else.
A lot of treatment centers aren't open,
making the path to recovery complicated.
The backbone of my recovery is meeting with people and being able to talk about my problems on a day-to-day basis. Without doing that, I was left by myself to sort of figure these things out. Obviously, I can pick up the phone and call someone, but it's just not the same.
So she called Amethyst for help, and soon Nicole discovered Foundation's Recovery Center was not only open, but it was taking patients.
We've added on some extra employees to help, knowing that we were going to be still having new admissions during this pandemic, and we've been working pretty well and making sure that we get everybody the help they deserve.
I try to bring different types of healing. We can do yoga, health and fitness, nutrition, meditation, just different things. It doesn't always look exactly the same for each person.
Since her time at Foundations, Nicole has learned to reach out to people for help, being mindful of her situation, pausing before reacting, and taking note of her issues.
I feel a lot better now. Not only did I get to connect with people in treatment, but I got a lot of information of how to deal with my issues, outside of here.
In Baltimore County, Mark Roper, WMAR 2 News.